Most people work hard every day and wonder why the rich keep getting richer while the poor struggle to get by. It doesn't seem fair. You see billionaires adding millions to their wealth while the average person can barely afford rent. But here's the truth. This isn't by accident. The system is built in a way that keeps the rich on top and the poor stuck at the bottom. And unless you understand how money really works, you'll always be playing a game that's designed for you to lose. But today, we're going to break it all down. Why does wealth flow to the top? What do the rich know that the average person doesn't? And most importantly, how can you escape this cycle? Because if you learn how the system works, you can start making it work for you. Let's begin. Most people are taught to trade time for money. Go to school, get a job, work hard, save a little, retire when you're 65. This is what society tells you is the path to success. But this plan has one major flaw. It keeps you stuck exchanging time for money. And that's the slowest way to build wealth. Think about it. The average person earns a paycheck, spends most of it on bills, and tries to save whatever is left. But what happens when an emergency hits? The car breaks down, a medical bill pops up, rent increases. Suddenly, the little savings they had disappears, and they're back at square one. Now look at the rich. They don't trade time for money, they make their money work for them. And that's the biggest difference. The rich understand that money isn't just something you spend, it's something you grow. If you don't learn this lesson, you'll always be working for money instead of letting money work for you. Let's look at how wealthy people make money. They don't work harder. They don't have some secret trick. They simply use a different system. They put their money into assets, things that grow in value over time. Real estate, stocks, businesses, investments that produce cash flow. Let's take an example. Imagine two people. One earns $50,000 a year and spends everything they make. The other earns $50,000 but saves and invests $10,000 per year into assets. Fast forward 20 years, the first person is still working, still struggling to save, still stuck. The second person, they've built a portfolio of investments worth hundreds of thousands, even millions. Why? Because money grows when you invest it wisely. But most people never do this. They only know how to spend money, not how to make it work for them. That's why the rich keep getting richer. They use their money to buy assets that make them even more money. Meanwhile, the poor spend money on things that lose value. That's the difference. And once you understand this, you can start changing your financial future. There's another reason why the rich keep pulling ahead. They understand the rules of money, rules that most people are never taught. For example, the tax system is designed for investors and business owners, not employees. Debt can be used to create wealth if you know how to leverage it correctly. Passive income is the key to escaping the paycheck-to-paycheck cycle. But most people never learn these things. Instead, they are taught to play it safe. Get a stable job. Avoid risk. Keep your money in a savings account. Buy things that make you look successful instead of actually building success. And while the average person plays by these rules, the rich play by a completely different set of rules. They use the tax code to reduce what they pay. They borrow money to buy assets instead of just spending it. They build multiple income streams so they're never relying on one paycheck. And the result? They keep getting richer and richer. Meanwhile, the average person is stuck just trying to survive. And this isn't just happening at the personal level. Look at corporations. Big companies pay less in taxes than most working-class families. They use debt strategically to expand, buy up competitors, and dominate industries. The financial system favors those who know how to play the game. If you don't learn these rules, you will always struggle. But here's the good news. You don't have to stay in this cycle. If you understand how the system works, you can start using it to your advantage. Next, we'll break down the exact steps you need to take to escape the paycheck-to-paycheck trap and start building real wealth. If you've made it this far, subscribe and turn on the notification bell. Because what's coming next, it could be the key to transforming your financial future. Let's continue. We now understand why the rich get richer and the poor stay stuck. The wealthy own assets that grow in value while the poor trade time for money, a cycle that keeps them working just to survive. We've also seen how the financial system is built to benefit those who understand the rules. But here's the real question. How do you escape this system? Because knowing how the game works isn't enough, you need to know how to play it to your advantage. So let's break it down step by step. If you're tired of feeling like you're just getting by, this is how you start changing your financial future. Step 1. Shift how you think about money. Before you can change your financial reality, you have to change how you see money. Most people are taught to see money as something they need to earn and spend. They work hard, get paid, and then use that money to cover their expenses. But the rich see money differently. To them, money is a tool, something that should be put to work to generate more money. Let's take a real example. A person earning $5,000 a month might spend $4,500 on bills and expenses, save $500 in a bank account that earns almost no interest. After a year, they have $6,000 saved, but inflation has already eaten into its value. Now compare this to someone who invests their money instead. Instead of saving, they put $500 a month into stocks, real estate, or a business. Over time, those investments grow and generate income. After a few years, they have not just savings, but money that makes money. This is why the rich get richer. They focus on assets, not just income. The first step to escaping the system is to stop thinking like an employee and start thinking like an investor. Every dollar you earn should be working for you. If it's not, you're just staying on the paycheck-to-paycheck hamster wheel. Step 2. Stop making the wrong purchases. One of the biggest mistakes that keep people poor is spending money on things that don't create value. They spend money on the latest gadgets, expensive cars with monthly payments, trendy clothes they don't need, and eating out every week. And the worst part, many people go into debt to afford these things. Now let's look at what the wealthy do differently. They focus on buying assets that generate money. Instead of buying a new car, they buy a rental property. Instead of spending on expensive vacations, they invest in stocks that generate dividends. Instead of using a credit card for luxury purchases, they use business credit to invest in something profitable. This is the key difference. One group spends money and loses it. The other invests money and grows it. If you want to escape the system, start being intentional about what you buy. Before making a purchase, ask yourself, will this put money in my pocket or take money out? If it doesn't generate value, think twice before buying it. Step 3. Learn how to use debt the right way. Most people fear debt, and for good reason. The wrong kind of debt keeps people trapped. Credit card balances, high-interest car loans, payday loans. These types of debt cost you money every month and leave you with nothing in return. But here's something most people don't realize. The rich use debt all the time, but they use it to create wealth, not to spend. Let's take an example. A wealthy investor takes out a loan to buy a rental property. They use the bank's money to purchase an asset. The tenant pays rent, which covers the loan payment. Over time, the property increases in value, making them even more money. Now compare that to someone who takes out a loan for a new car. They have to make payments every month. The car loses value over time. They end up paying more in interest than the car is worth. This is the difference between good debt and bad debt. Good debt makes you money, bad debt takes money from you. If you want to escape the cycle of paycheck-to-paycheck living, you need to stop using debt to fund your lifestyle, and start using it to buy assets instead. Step 4. Build multiple income streams. Relying on one source of income is one of the biggest reasons why people struggle financially. Because if you lose your job, you lose everything. The wealthy don't just rely on a paycheck. They build multiple streams of income so that, if one income source dries up, they still have money coming in. They can reinvest in more assets. Their money keeps working for them, even when they're not working. Some examples of additional income streams: investing in dividend-paying stocks, starting a side business, earning rental income from real estate, creating digital products or content, freelancing or consulting. The goal isn't to work harder, it's to set up systems that generate money on their own. Step 5. Learn the rules of the system. If you want to build wealth, you need to learn how the system works. That means understanding taxes so you can reduce how much you pay, learning about investing so you can grow your money, studying how businesses work so you can build something of your own. Most people never take the time to learn these things. They just work, earn, and spend, repeating the same cycle forever. But the wealthy educate themselves. They read books on money. They surround themselves with people who understand finance. They use the same tools that the rich use to protect and grow their wealth. And because of that, they keep getting ahead. Escaping the cycle of paycheck-to-paycheck living isn't about luck. It's about learning the right strategies and applying them consistently. We've broken down the wealth gap and why the rich keep getting richer while the average person stays stuck. We've also covered the mindset shift, the importance of assets, using debt correctly, and creating multiple income streams. But now comes the hardest part: taking action. Because the truth is, knowing what to do isn't enough. Most people know they should save more, invest wisely, and avoid debt. But they don't do it. Why? Because of bad financial habits, because of fear. Because the system is built to keep people distracted. And if you don't actively break out of these traps, you'll stay exactly where you are, struggling, stressed, and unable to move forward. So let's talk about how to escape for good. If you look at how most people manage money, you'll notice one thing. They don't control their money controls them. Think about this. Do you know exactly where your money goes every month? Do you have a system for saving and investing? Are you prioritizing assets over temporary pleasures? If not, you're not alone. Most people live paycheck to paycheck, not because they don't earn enough, but because they never take control. They spend first, save later, rely on debt to cover expenses, buy things that make them feel rich, instead of actually making them rich. And the worst part, they don't even realize they're in a financial trap, because the system normalizes bad money habits. Think about how easy it is to get into debt today. Credit card companies offer free money, car dealerships push financing plans, retailers convince you that buy now, pay later is a smart choice. All of these things are designed to keep you stuck, because when you're in debt, you have to keep working, and when you have to keep working, you don't have time to focus on building wealth. That's why the rich focus on owning assets while everyone else is stuck paying for liabilities. If you want to change your life, you need to break out of these habits. Here's something most people never think about. If people truly understood how to build wealth, would they keep working jobs they hate? Would they keep spending money on things they don't need? Would they stay stuck in the same cycle year after year? Of course not, but that's why the system keeps people distracted. Think about it, the news is filled with negative stories keeping people fearful instead of focusing on their future. Social media promotes luxury lifestyles, making people think wealth is about spending, not investing. Advertisers convince you that happiness comes from buying more things. Meanwhile, the rich quietly invest in assets, buy businesses, and build financial empires. Because while the world is focused on spending, they're focused on ownership. And this is why the wealth gap keeps growing. Because the rich aren't playing the same game as everyone else. They know that time is their greatest asset, and the sooner you start building wealth instead of just earning money, the faster you'll escape the cycle. If you're serious about escaping the paycheck-to-paycheck cycle and building real wealth, you need a system. A system that focuses on mastering your cash flow, building assets that grow, and creating financial freedom over time. Here's how you do it. Step 1. Master your cash flow. Before you can start investing, you need to take control of your money. That means tracking every dollar you earn and spend, cutting unnecessary expenses, and finding ways to increase your income. Most people don't even realize how much money they waste. That $5 coffee every day, that's $1,800 a year. That gym membership you don't use, $600 wasted. Subscriptions you forgot about, hundreds of dollars gone. The rich know that every dollar has a purpose, and if your money isn't working for you, you're working for it. Step 2. Buy assets, not liabilities. Once you control your spending, you need to focus on buying things that grow in value. That means investing in stocks that pay dividends, buying real estate that generates rental income, and starting a business or side hustle that makes money long-term. The key here? Stop spending money on things that don't make you money. If it doesn't put money in your pocket, it's not an asset, it's a liability. Rich people understand this. That's why they buy homes that appreciate in value instead of renting luxury apartments, invest in businesses instead of spending money on designer brands, and put their money into investments instead of letting it sit in a savings account. Every dollar they make is being used to make more money. That's how you escape the system. Step 3. Build passive income. The final step to escaping the wealth trap is to create income that doesn't require your time. Because if you have to work for money, you'll always be limited by time. But if your money works for you, you can make money while you sleep. This is the key to financial freedom. Here's how the rich do it. They invest in dividend stocks that pay them every month. They buy rental properties that generate cash flow. They start businesses that operate without them, and they create content, courses, or products that sell automatically. The goal is simple: set up systems that pay you, even when you're not working. And once you have enough passive income, you no longer have to rely on a job. You now have true freedom. Most people want quick results. That's why they fall for get-rich-quick schemes or gamble in the stock market. But the rich play the long game. They know that real wealth isn't built overnight. It takes time. It takes discipline. It takes choosing long-term rewards over short-term pleasure. That's why you see wealthy people investing in companies for decades instead of chasing trends, holding real estate for the long term instead of flipping for quick cash, building businesses that last instead of chasing the latest money-making fads. This is the difference, and this is why the rich keep getting richer, because they are focused on wealth that lasts. If you want to escape the system, you need a plan. You need to take control of your spending, invest in assets that grow, build multiple streams of income, play the long game instead of chasing fast money. And next, we're going to talk about how to put all of this into action starting today. If you're still watching, subscribe and turn on the notification bell, because what's coming next? It's the blueprint for building lasting wealth and financial freedom. Let's continue. We've covered the wealth gap, the habits keeping people stuck, and how the rich play by different rules to keep getting ahead. We've also talked about the exact steps you need to take, from controlling your cash flow to investing in assets and creating passive income. Now it's time for the most important part, putting it all into action. Because knowing the information isn't enough. If you don't apply what you've learned, nothing will change. So let's go step by step and create a real plan that you can start using today. Because if you follow these steps, you'll be on your way to escaping the paycheck-to-paycheck trap and building real wealth. Step 1. Track every dollar you spend. The first step to taking control of your money is knowing exactly where your money is going. Most people have no idea how much they spend. They just swipe their card, pay bills, and hope there's money left at the end of the month. That's a recipe for staying broke. Here's what you need to do. For the next 30 days, track every single expense, every coffee, every meal, every subscription. At the end of the month, take a look at where your money is actually going. I guarantee you'll find hundreds of dollars wasted on things you don't need. Once you see where your money is going, you can start cutting unnecessary expenses and putting that money toward things that actually build wealth. This simple habit alone can change your financial life. Step 2. Create an automatic savings plan. Once you know where your money is going, the next step is to make saving automatic. Because if you wait until the end of the month to save, you'll never do it. Instead, set up automatic transfers to your savings account the moment you get paid. Even if it's just $50 or $100 a month, start somewhere. Over time, increase the amount as your income grows. The goal is to pay yourself first, before you spend money on anything else. Step 3. Build your emergency fund. Before you start investing heavily, you need a financial safety net. That means building an emergency fund of at least 3 to 6 months of expenses. Because, unexpected expenses will happen. Your car will break down. You'll get hit with a surprise medical bill. You might lose your job. If you don't have cash set aside, you'll be forced to go into debt, which keeps you stuck in the cycle. Having an emergency fund gives you breathing room and keeps you from making bad financial decisions. Once you have some savings built up, it's time to start putting your money to work. Most people think investing is only for the rich, but the truth? You don't need a lot of money to start. If you invest just $100 a month in a low-cost index fund, that money can grow into hundreds of thousands over time. The key is to start early and stay consistent. The longer your money is invested, the more it grows. And this is exactly how the rich keep getting richer. They don't work for money. Their money works for them. If you want to be wealthy, you need to start investing. Even if it's a small amount, start today. Step 5. Eliminate bad debt. We talked about how debt can be a trap. If you're carrying high-interest debt, credit cards, payday loans, car loans, it's draining your financial future. Make a plan to pay off these debts as fast as possible. Use the debt snowball method. List all your debts from smallest to largest. Pay off the smallest one first while making minimum payments on the rest. Once the smallest debt is gone, apply that payment to the next one. Keep going until you're debt-free. This builds momentum and helps you clear debt faster than you think. The sooner you get rid of bad debt, the sooner you can focus on building wealth. Step 6. Build a side income stream. Most people rely on one source of income, their job. But if that income disappears, they're in trouble. That's why wealthy people always have multiple income streams. Here are some ways to start making extra money. Start a freelance business like writing, graphic design, or consulting. Sell digital products like ebooks or online courses. Invest in dividend stocks that pay you every month. Build a rental property portfolio. Start a YouTube channel, blog, or podcast. Even an extra $500 a month from a side hustle can be life-changing. It can help you pay off debt faster, save more, and invest more. Over time, this side income can grow into something bigger, giving you true financial freedom. Step 7. Surround yourself with people who think differently. One of the biggest reasons people stay broke is because they surround themselves with the wrong people. If you're around people who spend everything they make, complain about money but never take action, or make fun of investing or starting a business, you'll end up just like them. Instead, you need to find people who are building wealth. Listen to successful investors and business owners. Read books on money, investing, and financial freedom. Follow people who teach financial literacy. The more you learn from people who are winning, the faster you'll start winning yourself. Because success leaves clues. Step 8. Create a long-term plan. If you want to escape the rat race, you need a clear goal. How much do you need to be financially free? What assets will you build? What's your timeline? Most people never think long-term. They just live day to day, hoping things will get better. But the wealthy have a plan. They know exactly where they're going, and they take action every day to get there. If you want to be rich, you need a plan too. Write it down. Track your progress. Stay disciplined. Final thoughts. Take action now. We've covered everything you need to know to break free from the paycheck-to-paycheck cycle and start building real wealth. But the truth is, most people won't take action. They'll hear this information and do nothing. They'll go back to spending money on things that don't matter. They'll stay stuck in jobs they hate. They'll keep playing by the same rules that keep them broke. But if you're still here, that means you're different. You want something better. And now, it's up to you to make the changes. If you're serious about building wealth, start today. Not tomorrow, not next month, right now. Track your spending, start investing, pay off bad debt, create multiple income streams, build wealth, not just a paycheck. Because the truth is, the rich will keep getting richer. But now, you have the tools to join them. If you've made it this far, subscribe and turn on the notification bell, because this channel is here to help you escape the system and build the life you deserve. Drop a comment below. What's the first step you're going to take today? Let's talk about it. See you in the next video.